Oh, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. Let's start today's video off with Big Ramy. Ramy recently put out a statement to why exactly he's out of this year's Olympia, and this video was not in English, but I do have a rough summary from RX Muscle. Huge shout out to those guys. So I'm gonna read this off for you guys. So Ramy said he is still recovering. He had visa issues for Europe. He makes it clear that his not competing had nothing to do with his stance on the conflict on the other side of the world. He listened to the advice given to him from important voices in the industry that he should fully recover before he ever competes. So no Olympia until he feels he can show up in better shape than ever, because his fans want him to win, not just compete. He urges his fans to be respectful, work hard, etc. So there you have it, guys. The reason that Big Ramy is not going to compete in this year's Olympia is because of visa issues as far as getting into Europe, and also he doesn't want to hop back on that stage unless he feels like he can win. Now, I know I made a bold statement about a week ago saying that Big Ramy is potentially retiring, because I highly doubt we will ever get to see him on a bodybuilding stage again. Ramy is a very humble guy. Everyone that has actually met him in person says he's one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. The entire Egypt is behind him, plus he has thousands, millions of fans all around the world. If Big Ramy was not going to compete anymore, would he just say that? Or is Big Ramy seriously planning on coming back to a bodybuilding stage? I mean, Ramy hasn't answered that question yet, but let me know in the comment section below. Do you guys think we're not going to see Big Ramy compete again, or is he just building back up to make a great comeback to the stage? You guys let me know. And in the next update of the day, we have a recent update from our current reigning Arnold Classic champion, Hadi Choopan, at about 3 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia, where Hadi is looking to reclaim the Mr. Olympia title. And at 3 weeks out, Hadi is still pushing some very serious weight. A lot of people will say this is dangerous, which it probably is, but I've also heard a ton of bodybuilders say keeping training the same going into a show allows them to bring a more dense, a more grainy look. I've heard guys say when they lighten up on training going into a show, they sometimes bring a softer look. So they could be a testament to why Hadi is always so dense, so grainy on stage. And I've already seen a few people question Hadi's conditioning in this video. And do we really need to question the conditioning of the Persian Wolf Hadi Choopan? Hadi got here at around 6 weeks out working with Hadi Rambat. He's going to be exactly where he needs to be come showtime, which is just in 3 weeks. Now let's switch over to the mutant Nick Walker, who has actually been pretty quiet when it comes to physique updates. We've only been getting these quiet updates with the hoodie on. And I'm not sure about you guys, but Nick Walker posts a ton of these images just lifting up his shorts a little bit to show off the quads. I don't think these images make his quads look better, but let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think? I've been saying this for the entire year, but this is a very important Olympia for Nick Walker. I think Nick really has to get in that top 3, top 4, or the noise is going to get even louder. Nick doesn't have the structure. Nick is never going to win the Mr. Olympia. I actually just saw a title for a video that said Nick Walker isn't going to win the Mr. Olympia. But Nick has been very quiet. He said recently, we are now in the 4th quarter. Let's see what everyone is going to bring. I'm excited to see what the mutant is going to bring to this year's O. I don't currently have him in my top 3, but I would love to see Nick shock the world once again. And honestly, I would say that people started to count out Nick Walker a little bit more, mostly because of this guy, Andrew Jacked. And not because of anything that Andrew did, but following his showing at this year's Texas Pro, a lot of people immediately said Nick Walker is going to be in trouble going into this year's O. Andrew is going to get the nod this year. Not many training updates from Andrew Jacked, but I will tell you guys this. Chris Aceto is planning on Andrew winning this year's Mr. Olympia, and typically Aceto doesn't make bold statements like that. Chris Aceto has trained a lot of guys for many years, and I haven't heard him say often that this guy's gonna win this year's O, but it's gonna be exciting. Andrew does have Mr. O potential. Now next up, we have a recent update from the Shed, James Hollingshead, and James has not announced when is the next time he's going to step on stage, but it's probably going to be in 2025. And I'm typically a little bit harsh on James because in the past 6 years, he's probably took about 3 years off. I just feel like he could do a lot more competing and a lot more growing around competing instead of taking all these years off. But I truly do think that James is possibly looking the best he's ever looked over the past 6 months with Boss of Outlaw. And next up, we have a recent physique update from Jewett, who is sitting at 235 pounds at about 3 weeks out from this year's O. And it's still crazy to me how fast this guy added 20 pounds of quality muscle. And John has just been peeled for weeks. As you guys know, John is my dark horse pick for this year's O. I'm a little bit worried about how he's going to stack up from the back and overall size-wise next to these guys. But knowing he's at 235, size should be good. Now switching over to 212, we have a recent update from the giant killer Shaun Clarida. Clarida has only posted one full physique update this prep, and he said that would be the only one until we see him on stage at this year's O. But I'm interested to hear from you guys. So let me know in the comment section below what are your thoughts on Shaun Clarida. Does he have a chance at winning this year's 212 Olympia title? And it's crazy saying that because we're talking about the mini Ronnie Coleman, but Keon Pearson is very special. And he has a structure that guys can't train to get. Now let's switch over to classic physique. We do have a recent update from Ramon Dino. I don't like to look into the gym updates too much because what we see in the gym is not typically what we see on stage. But as I'm sure you guys know by now, I'm very high on Ramon Dino, and I feel like he's somewhat being overlooked going into this year's O. I think everyone is seeing it as a top 2 battle between Chris Bumstead and Wesley Vissers, and definitely credit to Wesley for winning the Arnold Classic UK, but Ramon did a very short prep for Ohio. We're going to see a different Ramon Dino at this year's Mr. Olympia. I'm not giving out any of my predictions early, but don't be surprised if I have Ramon Dino in second. Now next up, we have a recent physique update from Logan Franklin posted up by his coach Patrick Tour. And without a doubt, Logan is going to bring the conditioning to this year's O. He qualified at last year's Sean Ray Hawaiian Classic for this year's show. Logan has lost pretty much all his hype since he stopped working with Milos. Coaching himself took a little bit of time off. Placings maybe went down a little bit. But Patrick's a great coach. I'm looking forward to seeing Logan on stage. Now let's go ahead and wrap up today's video here with the archive of the day. You guys let me know in the comment section below who is this legendary bodybuilder. And as always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. And if you have not done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We are only 3 weeks out from the 2024 Mr. Olympia. Who is going to be crowned the 2024 Mr. Olympia? Will it be Derek Lunsford, Hadi Choopan, maybe even Samson Dowda or Andrew Jack? I'm Krishan from Go Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.